Welcome to Save Your Thyroid, a podcast all about thyroid nodules. My name is Jennifer Holcomb, and I advocate for fellow patients suffering with this very common condition. Thyroid nodules impact 70% of adults in their lifetime, and the standard of care is surgical removal of half or all of the gland. But in recent years, safe and effective non-surgical treatment options have become available. In this podcast, I sit down with patients and physicians to discuss life with thyroid nodules, treatment options, and how to save the thyroid whenever possible. Hello, everyone. It's me, Jen, again, and I'm back. I've been on a bit of a hiatus. And so in today's episode, I'm going to tell a little bit about why I've been gone and what I've been up to. So in case you haven't noticed, it's been a minute since I've uploaded any articles on Substack or videos on YouTube or Spotify, or even posted much on social media. And the last time that I took a break this long was actually in 2019 when our laundry room flooded from our washing machine and we had to completely renovate our kitchen, and we were out of our house for 4 months, and that was just a crazy time. But I did not actually have a life event like that. I just felt myself really needing to take a break. At the beginning of the summer in May, when my kids got out of school, I decided that I would take a sabbatical with my kids. So just a little background about what I do in this job that I have here on YouTube, and also with the patient advocacy group that I started. So I started this channel in 2019, founded the Save Your Thyroid group in 2019 after I had my thyroid RFA procedure at the University of Virginia. It started off with just, a handful of people. I remember we had 40 members in the group, and we were so excited, and has grown and grown since then. And then in 2020, I started interviewing RFA providers for this channel and publishing consistently on YouTube. And then in 2021, I started being invited to speak at physician training conferences and meetings, and traveling a fair amount. By 2022, I traveled during that year the most I've ever traveled during a year of my life. I think about once a month for every month of the year. I was being invited to speak and also make videos on location about thermal ablation procedures. As my work continued expanding, my life became unbalanced, and I was working more than full-time hours while also still trying to juggle being a wife and a mom. To say that I was exhausted from all of that is an understatement. By the time I had my 40th birthday last October, I was dealing with some pretty terrible vertigo and fatigue. In early November, I was able to go to Johns Hopkins to speak at a conference there, but it was really difficult because of the fatigue and the vertigo. I'm really grateful that I went on that trip, but I almost didn't get to go because I was feeling so poorly. Once I returned home from that trip, I decided I wasn't going to travel anymore in December. I was just going to take a break and focus on rest and recovery. Stay tuned for a future video where I go a little bit more in depth about the issues that I was having with vertigo and the surprising connection to thyroid health. So by January of this year, 2023, my vertigo was improving, thankfully, and I was able to travel again to make a video in Sarasota, Florida on thyroid laser ablation at Sarasota Memorial Hospital. And I was feeling so much better that I just dove right back into doing all the things that I was doing. I continued releasing YouTube content consistently and working towards Save Your Thyroid becoming a nonprofit organization, which, by the way, if you have any experience with nonprofits, getting them off the ground can be quite a bit of work. I also moved my blog from itsmejenagain.com over to Substack and started writing there. And I uploaded all of my past YouTube episodes onto Spotify. And I was just on a roll doing all these things, but it didn't take very long before I was burning the candle at both ends again and suddenly hit a wall and lost all my motivation to do all of the things that I had once really been passionate about. By the end of April, I knew I just had to stop and take a break and reset. So I'm going to stop for just a moment on the timeline of events and just briefly talk about money for a second. I've been very fortunate for the past 4 years to have the freedom to do the work that I've been doing. That includes both the business side of things with It's Me Jen Again on YouTube, and also the nonprofit side of things with Save Your Thyroid. It's been challenging to sustain this work. Number one, little to no money is coming in for countless hours of work. And number two, I'm the primary one doing all of the work. So for a little context, when you watch any of my It's Me Jen Again content, whether it's on YouTube, Spotify, or social media, it is all written, designed, filmed, edited, and distributed by me and only me. I don't have a staff that's supporting me and working for me and with me to do that. That means when I film videos on location, I'm the one both filming and interviewing the patient or whoever I'm there with. I'm running around like a mad woman trying to make sure that everything's taken care of, and cameras on both sides of the room and microphones and everything. And by the way, sound quality in doctors' offices is not good. So then there's a lot of editing that happens in post-production to make things sound good and look good. And it's just a lot. The Save Your Thyroid Facebook community has a website where we list every provider that we know of who offers thermal ablation for thyroid nodules and cancers. I created that website. Also, Save Your Thyroid does not have any employees and has no money to pay anyone who would want to help with that effort. Now, fortunately, Save Your Thyroid does have a small number of very dedicated moderators who volunteer and help keep the group going. And if it wasn't for them and all of their work, Save Your Thyroid would fall apart. So I just want to say right now, thank you so much to all of our moderators in the Save Your Thyroid community. But because of a general lack of manpower and resources, I've worked very, very hard to juggle multiple roles that I fulfill. Because of this, I've learned how to do lots of new things and gained lots of new skills in order to do this work myself, such as camera work, video editing, social media management, building websites, all of those things I mentioned just a moment ago. I've also worked very hard to save up and buy new gear so that I could make these videos better, improve the quality. For example, I started off my channel with just my cell phone, and now I actually have a real camera. When I've traveled to speak at events and make videos, the only reason I was able to do that was because my expenses were covered by the party who invited me. There have been a few occasions where I've been invited to visit or participate or speak at an event, but I wasn't able to do that because there was no money to cover my travel costs. And as a result, we missed out on some amazing opportunities to grow greater awareness. So the reason that I do this work is because I am extremely passionate about helping other patients who are like me, who've struggled in the same way with thyroid nodules. Some people have suggested that I create a business where I charge patients money to do consulting work for them, where I give them information and guidance. I just don't feel comfortable with that. I don't want to charge patients money for information or take advantage of their negative circumstances. Information should be free. If you value the work that I do and you want to help financially sustain it, here are just a few ways that you can support my efforts. Number one, subscribe to this channel. It's me, Jen again. Like, share, and comment on my videos. This helps the channel grow and also causes YouTube to push my videos out to more people who might be benefited by learning the information that I share. A bit more about my channel in just a moment. Number two, make a contribution directly to my efforts via the link in the description below. This money goes directly toward covering my business expenses related to It's Me Jen Again. Number three, you can make a contribution directly to the Save Your Thyroid community via our nonprofit fiscal sponsor, THYCA, the Thyroid Cancer Survivors Association. Please, once you do that, send an email letting them know that you're contributing to SYT or Save Your Thyroid. I'll put the link and the email address in the description below. This money goes directly to covering Save Your Thyroid's expenses. And lastly, number four, consider becoming a paid subscriber to my Substack, It's Me Jen Again, to help support my advocacy efforts. Now, back to my summer sabbatical. During the summer, I just focused on taking time to rest and spend time with my family. We took an amazing vacation to the beach in June. I stayed off social media. I stayed off my phone a whole lot more than usual. It was just wonderful to rest and recharge. In July, my oldest daughter and I traveled to Texas for my 4-year post RFA follow-up with my doctor who is at UT Southwestern. And while we were there, we were actually able to visit with some family that I have in Texas. And it was just a wonderful time. So what are my plans for It's Me Jen Again in the future? Something else that I took time to do over the summer that I haven't done in a long time was research. I am so into research. It's kind of funny because I don't know if you're like this, but I just get pulled down all of these different rabbit holes. I like learning, and so I'll be reading something and I'll see something and I'll want to know, well, what does that mean? And I'll go look that up, and then I'll go down another rabbit hole, and before I know it, I'm on a completely different subject than where I started. I read several books over the summer written by physicians and experts on topics related to thyroid nodules. By the time I finished one of these books, I was so inspired that I scribbled down multiple pages worth of ideas of educational content that I want to share with you. Here are just a few of these ideas. Iodine deficiency, books that I've read, resources to share, and warnings. Selenium and the thyroid and thyroid nodules. What does the research say about it? The carnivore diet, my experience, experiences of others, and why you might want to consider trying it. How the thyroid relates to musculoskeletal health, and I'm going to talk about my experience with a neck injury and vertigo, what my recovery process was like. The importance of metabolic health and thyroid health, and the connection to thyroid nodules. And lastly, I'm going to start making reaction videos where I share relevant creators' content with you and then give comments about it. As you can probably tell, there's a bit of a theme running across all of these videos that I'm planning to make, and that is lifestyle interventions. Now, this is something that I've not focused much attention on in the past for a very important reason. I've never been able to find that lifestyle interventions consistently and meaningfully improve thyroid nodules. That is until now. I want to share with you what I've learned and connect you with the resources that I'm learning from, which are all evidence-based. And I'm hopeful that by sharing this information on both lifestyle interventions and medical interventions, that even more people could be helped in dealing with their thyroid nodules. If you follow me on social media, you may have already noticed that I've been sharing relevant content on my stories on Facebook and Instagram. If you don't already follow me there, my handle is itsmejenagain. So another thing that I'm planning to do with It's Me Jen Again that I want to let you know about, just to be totally upfront and transparent, is that I'm going to start having affiliate links and sponsorships on my videos. This will help to sustain, in part, work that I'm doing. The only products that I'm going to mention are those relevant to this audience that I have tried, that I have found helpful, and that I enjoy. And I will never, ever recommend a product or a brand or a company to you that I don't think is relevant and that I don't believe in. However, this is a big, big however. I want to make sure that everyone watching this understands the focus of Save Your Thyroid will not change. We as a community have, from the beginning, always maintained that we want the focus of that community to be exclusively on thermal ablations for thyroid nodules and cancers. We will focus only on medical interventions. We will not focus on lifestyle interventions. And this is why. To my knowledge, Save Your Thyroid is the only patient community with this exclusive focus. And adding too much information can make the group have too broad of a focus and make it an overwhelming place to navigate. We don't want patients who are already overwhelmed, who are coming to our community looking for information about thyroid ablation, to have any more information to have to wade through than absolutely necessary. We're keeping the focus there just on medical interventions, non-surgical thermal ablation procedures for thyroid cysts, nodules, cancers, and metastatic lymph nodes. If you're a member of our community, please keep that in mind. We really appreciate you understanding. The reason I'm mentioning this is because this topic has come up quite a bit in our community. I understand that patients are excited, if not anxious or even desperate, to find any way possible that they can shrink thyroid nodules. They're willing sometimes to do just about anything to save their thyroid. And I get that. I've been there. This is going on 10 years that I've been dealing with thyroid nodules. I understand because I'm a patient just like you. That's why we're going to keep these two topics kind of separated. One place, Save Your Thyroid, is going to be focused on the medical interventions. And then It's Me, Jen Again, my channels will focus on that as well as lifestyle interventions. So hope that makes sense. So to my knowledge, Save Your Thyroid is the only patient community with this specific and exclusive focus on thermal ablation procedures. We have over 7,500 members to date from all across the globe. It's growing steadily, and we are just very interested and passionate about helping patients preserve their vital thyroid gland and their quality of life. This community is exclusively for patients. However, if you're a provider watching this video or listening to this podcast and you want to reach out to me to share information with the community, please don't hesitate to comment on this video, contact me through Substack, contact me through social media, or email me at saveyourthyroid@gmail.com. I'd be happy to speak with you about ways to share your message with the community. One last thing about Save Your Thyroid. I have a very important announcement coming up in a future video. I will be announcing something very important, so stay tuned. What are your thoughts on all of this? Make sure to leave me a comment below and let me know. Thanks so much for listening. Please share this content and help others. If you need resources, testimonials, and support, please join our patient community, Save Your Thyroid. You can also find me on social media and Substack under the media handle, It's Me, Jen Again. Never forget to educate yourself and be your own advocate and save your thyroid.